What is up, everyone? What's good? What's cracking? Welcome into OnlyBets, your daily sports wagering podcast. Alongside your host, SternBets, I am PrinceOfPicks. Hey, welcome on in. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to have you here. If you're listening and you're brand new here to the podcast, you're listening over on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Do us a quick favor if you can, please. Give us a quick rating and review over on Apple Podcasts and both on Spotify as well. Just give us a quick 5-star rating. Doesn't have to be a long review. It can be something as short as, great team, winning picks, something short and simple. But anything helps. Not only does it help the algorithm here, kind of get our show out there to the masses, but it also increases the visibility of our show, and it helps our show grow as well. So we'd really appreciate that. And if you're here listening live on Spaces, hey, thanks for stopping in. We really appreciate you. Pleasure is all ours. But if you could do the same thing as well, as soon as the Spaces ends here, usually in about 30 to 45 minutes, the podcast will be available over on Apple and Spotify. So if you guys can do the same here, just hop on over to Apple and Spotify. It only takes about a minute. Just give us a quick 5-star rating, write a short review. That would do a world of help for this show here. So really appreciate all your support. The views have been great. The support has been great so far for a brand new podcast here. So again, greatly appreciate everything you guys have been doing for us. With that being said, I'll go ahead and hand over the reins over to my co-host, SternBets. Mr. Mosh, how are we doing today? Take it away, man.
Hey, we're doing good. 3 days, and we are in the green. I know UCL didn't go exactly as planned, but overall, your bets have been smashing. We had our man Drew, who had a clean 3-0 sweep yesterday. I went 2 for 1, both of my NBA plays cashing. And Bayern Munich did not got a red card in the middle of their game and failed to score a third goal, so that kind of ruined everyone's day. But overall, it's been great. We've had 98 total downloads, not including the people who listen on Twitter and Spaces. That's pretty impressive over just three episodes so far.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding support. You guys have been really knocking it out of the park with that. So again, we greatly appreciate it. Sky's the limit for us. We want to take this as far as we can. So again, those ratings and reviews go a long way as well. But the downloads help as well. So appreciate everything you guys have been doing for us. We're going to continue to give you guys as many winning tickets as we can on a daily basis here. So again, appreciate all your support, and let's see where we can take this show, man. Let's see where we can take today. We got an interesting slate of games today. We got a lot of Europa League matches. We got some other matches as well. Of course, NBA's in action tonight. So interested to see where we're going to take this. But yeah, what do you got? You got any thoughts for anything today, sir?
Yeah, I have some NBA and NHL plays actually, but let's start in the Europa League. Why don't you lead us off, guide us through what is happening today? What is the Europa League? We know we had the Champions League yesterday, which is the private clubs, the top private clubs from around the world all play each other, which is, in my opinion, the best league in all of soccer. But what's Europa League? Can you just give us a little bit of a rundown on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So to put it in layman terms, right, in terms of like an American sports culture, the Europa League would be like the equivalent to the NIT in college basketball, right? So it's like your secondary tournament in terms of European football. Now, of course, when you're talking about football, which when we say football, we're talking about soccer, right? Europe is by far and away the number one region in soccer in terms of competitiveness, in terms of caliber of play, in terms of skill level. So when you're talking about the secondary league in Europe, I mean, your secondary league, your Europa League is still better than majority of the leagues worldwide. So, don't want to give too much slight to this league. It's still a very, very competitive league, and a lot of teams, fight to get into the Europa League as well. So, but that's the way you would put it. Is in Europe, it is kind of like the secondary league. The winner of this league qualifies to the Champions League for next year, which is, that's the big daddy of them all. So that's the one everyone wants to go for. But the setup is the same. So you got 32, I believe it's 32 teams or 30. Yeah, I think it's 30 or 32 in the table. Top 24 make it to the knockout stages. So same concept as in the Champions League. So we got a lot of games here. Again, there's 2 games left. We got today's matches, and then we have another slate of matches in a couple weeks. So we're heading down towards the final stretch of group play here. And in this new format, you get a lot of really entertaining entertaining games because the urgency to win is on a higher level as opposed to the old format. And so we're in for a lot of thrilling games today, I think. Some games maybe not so much, but we're going to see some absolute bangers here. And we're going to continue to use that word banger because that's just going to become a staple on this show, I think. But in any case, I'm excited to get into the Europa League matches today. So, any other thoughts for you before I start getting into my picks?
No, lead us off, man. Get us into the day of sports. I love listening to your soccer plays. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So first up, we're going to start off with a match taking place here at about 12:45 p.m. Eastern. We have Lyon from France taking on Young Boys from Switzerland. When we're looking at the table here, Lyon, they're sitting top of the table right now, first place. They are, sitting at 15 points right now. But the difference between this table and the Champions League table, in this table here, they're only 3 points ahead of 10th. So you kind of have a log jam between first and 10th place. So whereas in the Champions League, your first place team is pretty much comfortably in the knockout stages. Not so much here in the Europa League because there are a handful of teams, 10 to be exact, that are just within 3 points of each other. So 3 points is just one win. So you can't really relax just yet, if even if you're a top seed here in the Europa League. Meanwhile, on the other side, though, we have a Young Boys team who is sitting 21st in the table here, but they are on the fringe here of the top 24. But more importantly here, Young Boys are just in really poor form. They've lost four straight overall. They're winless in seven of their last nine overall. And they are just above the drop zone for the relegation playoffs in the Swiss Super League. So that Swiss league is not one of the best leagues in the world. So for them to be, in contention for relegation potentially from the Swiss top league, that just goes to show just what kind of form Young Boys is in right now. So Lyon on the other side, much better form here. One of the better teams in Europe. This is a team that has Champions League pedigree. More often than not, you'll find them in the Champions League as opposed to the Europa League. And this year is about the same for them. They're fighting for a Champions League spot in the French League table, League One, if you will, and if we were to say it in English. They've also won six straight overall here, have Lyon. So Lyon has been flying right now. Young Boys on the other side here, not doing so hot. So for me here, I'm going to take a bet split here. We're going to do a half unit each. I'm going to take a half unit and put it on Lyon on the money line. That's at minus 140. Then I'm going to take another half unit, and I'm going to take Lyon on an Asian handicap minus one. That way you're going to get at plus 120. And again, for those of you who are unfamiliar with how Asian handicaps work, minus one basically means if Lyon wins by two or more, you win that particular bet. If they only win by one, you push and you get your money back. So it's kind of a way, if they win by two or more, we'll win both sides of the bet. If they only win by one, we'll at least cash out on the money line. So, but either way here, I think Lyon is absolutely the play against a struggling Young Boys team from Switzerland. So, any thoughts for you on this one?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Young Boys is something that a team that we usually like BTTS and over 2.5 goals in any match that they're featured in. Um, I personally went with the over team total Lyonnais over 1.5 as a parlay piece. Did not play anything officially on the podcast as my soccer picks have not been coming through. So just watching this one, but I'm going to be looking for that bet live if the price gets good enough.
Awesome. Yeah. And again, we were talking about this yesterday too. Live bets is always a great way to approach these matches because, for one, you have a lot of these matches are kind of there's not much head to head, right? So you don't, when you're looking at domestic leagues, you have a long list of head to head for a lot of these games and these matches. So you have a lot more of a kind of a substantial data that you're looking at when you're trying to cap and try to determine what the good value plays are. In the Champions League, you don't really have that head to head, so you're kind of going based off their domestic form and their limited Champions League form. So definitely live bets are a good angle to do as well, because a lot of times you'll get better lines, and you get a better feel for how teams are kind of set up and how they're approaching the match as well. So definitely a good strategy to take for all these games, really. But we'll go ahead and move on here. We got another matchup today taking place at 3 p.m. Eastern. Where we have Roma from Italy. They're going to be taking on Stuttgart from the German Bundesliga. When we're looking at the table here in the Champions League, both teams are sitting on 12 points right now, and they're both in the top 10 of the table. Both of these teams do come to this one in excellent form domestically, as they are currently both fourth place in their respective leagues, and in position to qualify for the Champions League next season. So these are two teams that are really hot right now. And for that reason here, and based on where they're standing on in the table, I actually think we're going to see kind of a tight and cagey matchup here. I don't think either team's really going to want to risk it. I think they're going to want to put themselves in a position to go ahead and qualify from their final match, which they both should be favored in that match. And not only that, but when we're looking at Roma here at home and the trends, they've allowed just one goal or less at home in 22 of their last 25 home matches, has Roma. So Roma is a defensive juggernaut at home. They don't allow very many goals. And also, when we're looking at Roma home games in general, the under 2.5 has hit in 14 of the last 21 Roma home games. So I think we have a lot of stuff here, a lot of ingredients lining up for not a lot of goals. I think both teams just kind of got to make a, kind of a gentleman's agreement. Hey, let's just get out of here. Let's take the point. Let's move on to our last game. And they both should be set up in really good position if they both get a point here to go ahead and qualify for the top 8 and make it to the knockout stages. So we're going to take under 2.5 goals in this one, and we're going to get that at plus 100. Anything for you on this one?
No, but it is interesting looking at the numbers coming in that 99.78% of the public thinks that this game is going over. So I kind of like fading that a little bit. That's a good pick.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I have no problem fading the public, so we'll see. But I just think, I don't see the motivation. I don't see the motivation when you're talking about Champions League play. It's all about getting points. It's not so much, about making a statement. So you just want to get to the knockout rounds, and I think a point for both of them will set both of them up really nicely to go ahead and do that. Finally, here we'll go ahead into our last pick here for the Europa League. We're going to go to another 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff where we have FC Basel from Switzerland taking on a Salzburg from Austria. When we're looking at the table here, both of these teams are currently sitting outside of the top 24, which is the knockout line here. So they're both going to need points today. Salzburg, they're actually in a must-win situation, or they will be eliminated. So you have a team here that really has to go for it. Meanwhile, Basel, they're not much higher from actually, they're not even in the top 24. So a win or actually a loss here won't eliminate them, but it'll put them in a really bad position. So really, you got both teams here that do need to go for it. Salzburg more so than Basel, but in any case, I think we're going to see a lot of goals in this one. When we're looking at both teams to score, it's hit in 10 of the last 12 for Basel, and it's also hit in 12 of the last 19 for Salzburg. So these are two teams that are trending scoring goals, trending conceding goals, and I think we see the same thing here with considering the circumstances and the necessity for both teams to really pick up all 3 points. So we saw it yesterday when a similar situation was lined up with Eintracht Frankfurt and Karabag. You saw an Eintracht team who was chasing points throughout the game. We ended up getting 5 goals in that match. So I think we're going to see a similar setup here today, similar circumstances, and I expect a lot of goals in this one. So we're just going to take both teams to score and over 2.5. We're going to get that at minus 145. You got anything for this one?
No, but in terms of you speaking out in the game yesterday, I actually hit a crazy bet, and in the 90th minute, it was scored tie. It was a tie game 2-2, and I put $7 on each team's money line, and that paid out quite a nice bit. So always pays to watch these games if there's going to be a high scoring total and both teams have the ability to score. The pressure ramps up at the end of the game, and you can usually get a really good number. But you also have to be careful not to chase because you're chasing high payouts. The likelihood of all of them cashing is very low. So got to balance it out. But there is some great opportunities here, especially in a Europa League where it's even a level down. Like the professionalism of the higher leagues really have higher defenses. They're higher quality teams. So there is some great opportunities, and I'm definitely going to be looking for some opportunities.
Yeah, not to mention too. Also, I mean, we're talking about Champions League, Europa League, right? You have a very limited amount of games. I think it's 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, before the knockout stage starts. So, the necessity to win is a lot higher as opposed to a domestic league where you got 20, 25, some odd games where a draw is not the end of the world. But in Champions League, especially with this new format, every win is crucial, and especially when you get down to the end here. here where, a win is the only way you're going to advance. A lot of times when you see a draw and you see a team that has to win, it's good to go ahead and play the money line on that because chances are either they're going to score or they're going to concede. So what you did, I think, is a really, really sharp play when you need a team to win. So definitely a good way to look at it. But for me, that's going to do it for me for as far as Europa League today. If you guys want any additional plays from me, the rest of them are going to be over on the VIP channel. You guys can find that by checking my my pin post on my X profile. That's at PrinceOfPicks 10, where you guys will find the rest of my Europa League plays, as well as Champions League plays for the next couple weeks. But I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Stern. What else you got for us?
Yeah, I want to bring us into the world of basketball. I really kind of want you to speak out on your lean yesterday of the Nets taking care of my Knicks.
Oh, you threw it back at me, huh? Okay, I guess that's what I get for bringing it up at the end there. Wow. Okay, well, the Knicks showed up, now didn't they? They finally showed up. The Brooklyn had been fighting hard, but good lord, I mean, shout out if you had Knicks minus 50. You won that bet. So, probably got a hell of a payout if you found a book to give that. But no, man. I mean, look. I mean, it was inevitable, right? At some point, the Knicks were going to turn it around. Now, am I sitting here willing to say, okay, Knicks are back and willing to bet on them yet? No, I'm not. Because I still think Brooklyn's not a very good team. They just fight hard, right? They play hard, and at times they can be pesty and feisty. But yeah, shout out to the Knicks, man. They did what they had to do. They did what they were supposed to do. And so we'll see if this can kind of be a turning point for them. But I'm not ready to go there yet, not just yet.
Yeah, me neither. We also had a good win in the Mavs game, right? And also in the Celtics game, both teams covered. That was nice. But going up for tonight, actually, wait, before we move on, Jimmy Butler is out for the season. That is a brutal, brutal, brutal call for our man Drew's Warriors. But yeah, bring us into any kind of games that you're looking into in the NBA slate, and then I'll t- pick out my favorite game and my best bet of the day.
Yeah, so again, I have all my NBA plays over on the VIP channel. So again, if you guys are wanting to get over there and get those plays, you guys once more can check my pinned post on my X profile at PrinceOfPicks 10, where you guys can find out how to join. But just a couple quick looks that I'm looking at in the NBA. I like Charlotte tonight. I know I was on them last night. They almost came back and covered. They were down by about like 20, 25 points, I think, to Cleveland. They made a late run and almost covered that 3.5 spread. I got it at plus 3.5. But they didn't. But tonight they're playing an Orlando team that is coming off of a European what should I say road trip. Where they played in Germany in last Friday. Then they flew over to London on Sunday. And then, of course, flying back here to Orlando. So you're talking about going from Orlando to Germany, Germany to London, London back to Orlando, all in about 6 days. That's an awful lot of travel for a team that's probably not used to that much travel in such a short amount of time. I mean, it's one thing to just travel, but when you're talking about playing professional sports at the same time, that's just asking a lot. So I'm expecting some dead legs here for Orlando. I think this is a good spot. I get it. Charlotte's on a back-to-back, but Charlotte will be used to that. I mean, NBA teams are pretty much used to playing back-to-backs, and Charlotte's a younger team, so I don't really expect them to really be fatigued here in terms of maybe some of your more veteran teams who might be more affected by back-to-backs. Right now, as I'm looking at the line, I think I see Orlando by 6.5. I don't know why Orlando should be favored by that much right now. I mean, they got blown out by the Grizzlies in the second game, which was the London game. Orlando's just a very Jekyll and Hyde type of team, not a team you can really trust. So given that, given the travel, I'm going to be on the Hornets here, definitely to cover that spread. That's probably my best look for today. Real quick here, if I were to just look at another one, actually, go ahead and give me something. Let me take a look at my notes here.
Yeah. We actually talked about this game last night. You said that this was the spot that you had circled in order to take the Magic. You thought that the Hornets were going to be on this long travel and be exhausted. So that's nice following that. And my best bet is really coming in the Rockets 76ers game. I'm going to take the 76ers plus 2.5 with the points minus, I think it was minus 116 over at FanDuel. I simply just love the moxie that they're showing. They're putting in the work. They're pushing teams. And honestly, at home with the motivation spot, I kind of like this. The Rockets haven't really been impressive to me at least. I might be wrong on that. I'm less informed in the NBA than some of the other sports, but give me the 76ers here, as short home dogs. I also sprinkled on the money line.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Houston's been up and down. Houston's definitely in a slump right now. They're one of those teams that's in this midseason slump. They haven't been playing up to expectations. So I think Philly's the play here as well. I'm on a similar bet here as you are with the Sixers. Yeah, I got them at plus 2.5 here. So I like the Sixers here at home against a kind of mediocre Houston team right now. I do expect Houston to turn it around and be a title contender here before it's all said and done. But again, these are the dog days of the NBA, so a lot of times you'll kind of see this with these teams where they go through these little lulls here and there, and I think Houston is in that right now. Do they turn it around in Philadelphia? I'm gonna bet that they won't. So I'll take Philly here plus 2.5. If we do see maybe a short win, what should I say, a low margin win here for Houston possibly, but I like the Sixers in this spot. And then one more play I'm going to look at here as well is going to be the Clippers and the Lakers. I'm on the Clippers here money line. I think this is kind of like a pick 'em right now. Last I checked, but Clippers have owned the Lakers head to head recently, so I'm going off of that. Again, I don't really like what I see with the Lakers. You got Jeannie Buss now coming out, talking, with her words about LeBron, which has been reported. Right, there's supposed to be turmoil between her and LeBron, and there's just a lot of that's what happens when LeBron enters your organization. There always seems to be smoke, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire. So something's going on with the Lakers, but I'll take the Clippers here just based on head to head alone. Clippers have just kind of been Lakers' daddy lately, so I'll expect that trend to continue here, and I'll be on the Clippers money line.
Yep, I like that a lot. I do. Oh, I made a mistake earlier. I said that I was on the Mavs yesterday. I was on the Cavs. I don't know why the M came out, but the Cavs I was definitely on, which I felt great through halftime. They were up 30 points, 20 points, or whatever it was, but they did almost blow it, but I still did cash that ticket. I have a question on the Mavs game. The Warriors are visiting the Mavs. Warriors are without Butler. Steph Curry has played a few nights in a row. They just pushed themselves. Why are the Mavs five? Why are they not favored?
I think, in my opinion, to put it simply, I think the Mavs stink. I just don't think they're a very good team. And I think the Warriors at some point they will adjust to life without Jimmy Butler. They're still going to be a decent team. But they're better than the Mavs. They're better than the Mavs even without Jimmy Butler. Without AD in the mix, for the Mavs, he just makes such a massive difference for them. That they're just a shell of themselves when he's not in the lineup. And so Cooper Flag will do what he does. I'm not even sure if he's supposed to play or not tonight. I haven't really checked the injury reports yet, so I'm not sure if he's due to play or not. But in any case, even if it doesn't really make a difference to me, I think Warriors are the play here, especially given how badly they lost to the Raptors. This is a proud team, a proud organization, and I don't see them losing against two teams that realistically they shouldn't be losing like that too. So it's Warriors for me tonight on the money line. I think this is a good spot for them.
I knew there was a reason why I laid off on that one and took the 76ers as my best bet tonight. Is there anything else in the NBA that you want to cover? And we'll definitely come back a little bit. We'll ask Drew on his thoughts and feelings on that game as well. But anything else you want to cover before we head to the NHL?
No, let's go ahead and get over to the NHL.
Yeah, the NHL. This is exciting. I was watching one of these games 2 nights ago, and they were, I think, in the third period, they shot 11-1. They had 11 shots to their opponent's one shot. They just couldn't get it in. I think they come out on fire tonight. Oilers. Give me the Oilers. We talked about this yesterday on the show. They're at the end of three periods, I think it's called the 60-minute line. Give me, I think I got this at minus 105. I think that they're going to take care of business here, and they're going to take care of business quickly. And I'm not expecting a contested match. So that best bet for me, Oilers, 60-minute money line, three-way money line, minus 105. I know that you're not really such a hockey capper, but any thoughts?
Nope, I'll tail it.
Okay, and I was also looking at the Blackhawks versus the Carolina Hurricanes. I was not. I mean, I guess the Carolina is just that much better, but I couldn't pull the trigger on a minus 1.5 puck line. But that is a game that I do like as well. And if I see that Carolina trails at some point during the game and I can get near even odds, I would definitely take a look at that as well. I do not have Squishy's pick tonight yet, but we will definitely add it to the article when it comes out. Hopefully, I'll get it within the next hour. Um, Anything for the Australian Open?
Yeah, I've been watching it here and there. To be honest, that's not really my wheels. I love watching tennis. I love watching the majors. But I really couldn't tell you. I'd just be throwing darts if I were to give out some picks. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm definitely trying to watch it here in these late night. I like the late night. I like when tournaments are over in Australia. Yeah, I'm kind of a night owl myself, so it kind of works for me. I enjoy watching these late night live sports, midnight, 1 a.m. East or 1 a.m. Central time here. So, yeah, for the entertainment part of it, I like it, but no, I don't have anything in terms of capping.
Yeah, we have a Discord, and if anybody wants to be a part of it, please reach out. We'll try to get you an invite. But we have a Discord where we all talk about different games, and there's some tennis bettors there. So I kind of look at their plays. I wait for the game to start and see if I can get a good line on maybe one of the pieces of a money line parlay or something like that. I think this is all for it for us today. Unless you have anything else to add. Yesterday's episode ran an hour and a half. We apologize. In the future, when we want to break down every single game of a slate, we're just gonna have a special episode and publish it as is, and then have our daily episode, maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes at the max. Right, Prince? Like, is there any other?
Yeah, no, that's kind of the plan going forward. We're gonna try to shorten these podcasts up for you guys a little bit, so you guys can kind of get in, get out, and get on with your day. I do have an announcement here, just as a reminder at the end of the show, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. But before we do that, did you want to get Drew in here to give us his college basketball plays? Our
Oh
college
gosh,
basketball
yes,
expert,
yes,
Drew.
yes. And after a sweep, just incredible stuff from him. Yeah, come on, Drew. Unmute yourself and you can talk. So sorry, I meant to bring you on. You were on my docket, and thanks, Prince. Just take yourself off mute and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, Zogs. I know there's like a delay of like when I'm off mic and I join, and then you guys are a little ahead. So just 1 second. Was it yesterday in college basketball was amazing. We went perfect on the day, guys. Uh, um, One of the games I mentioned was Temple. I wasn't necessarily on the picture, but I did decide to bet it before the game. They were down 24-14 to start, and you know what? Temple just used their defense to suffocate them, and it was overall a great win. I would say SternBets inspired them because I know you mentioned Temple. You said that's where you met your wife there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were dating when she was still there.
Oh, he's still there, yeah. And I have some connection with Temple. I had a college roommate who is from like the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area and stuff like that. So that was a really good win. We Texas didn't look like they were going to cover, and they covered. And then the biggest one was West Virginia went down 26-13 early and then up winning by 12 points. And San Diego State lost by 1 point, but that covered the +1.5. Before the game actually went to -1.5. So it sucks to see, though, for San Diego State because they got screwed. Their guard was about to have his sixth block of the game, and they called a foul to 7 free throws with 1.8 seconds left. So even though we covered, I hate to see these kids get screwed out of a win.
Yeah, yeah. We were. I think we messaged about it. I was kind of relieved though that I could go to bed at that point and the game was going to continue.
Yeah. No matter what, it was very impossible with 1.8 seconds left to San Diego State to lose by more than 1 point. By the way, that buzzer beater almost went in, which was kind of crazy. But overall, there's a lot of mid-major games on the slate. I'm still looking at certain stuff because there's not many much ranked games. The only like Power Five conference game we are seeing currently right now is Wisconsin and Penn State. But honestly, I don't necessarily trust. I don't trust either of those teams. Penn State is a very weird team, man. They played Michigan close, but then the last couple games they have not looked good at all. They got blown out by Maryland. Maryland is not a good team. So um, there's one game though that I do have in mind, which I like a lot. We're talking about the Colonial Athletic and mid-major. Mid-majors are always fun to watch. It's UNCW versus William and Mary. I don't know if you guys heard of those teams, but William and Mary used to be a really like really good team beginning of the year. They would cover everything, and now they can't cover to save their life. And UNCW is 6-0 in their division, and they're just a really big team. There's a 79-inch height versus like a 77.4-inch height. William Mary is home, but when you see how good UNCW has done, and when I ran through my model, the fair spread was UNCW -3, factoring in like who they played, the conference stats, and all of that. And right now, UNCW Wilmington is +1.5. So that's about 4.5 points of value. I do not like betting against William Mary, usually necessarily at home, but we've seen because William Mary is 7-0 at home, but UNCW 6-1 away. So I want to take William Mary, but I can't deny the -3 for UNCW and how well they've been doing. So I'm going to take the value here and do UNCW +1.5. I'll take points.
Okay, that's the play. And by the way, I do have a lean to Wisconsin in the other game that you mentioned against Penn State.
Yeah.
I think that they're the correct play, and within a -5.5 spread, that's definitely something that's worth. I'm putting in $25 on that, and
Oh yeah. So something I will say about that, I ran my model on that, right, and then it said it did a big gap. It's like 6 to 12 points. I think it said this fair spread should be like -8 to 8.5. So I would definitely lean Wisconsin if I would do that. The reason why I won't touch it is a superstition sports betting. Anytime I bet Penn State, they always fail me. um, it's just one of those things. I don't know why.
let's see if my lean counteracts that. Because when I don't play
Yeah.
something for a full unit and I just say, yeah, it's a lean. This is so whatever, that usually cashes.
Oh yeah, I think Wisconsin's clearly the better team. It's just whether or not for Penn State if Mingo goes off or not. But other games, though, guys, and I'll send you Stern the other games that I'm looking at, and I was curious about. By the way, was Towson at Elon. Technically, Elon does have 2 points of value. Towson is not a good offensive team at all. I know Towson barely won us that game against Drexel there, and Drexel's not a good team. So Elon is one to look out for, guys. Personally, I think Elon's a better team. And then the other one that I was looking at was I was looking at the UAB USF game. Technically, UAB does have about 2 to 2.5 points of value there. And UAB hasn't done well lately, but they did last time these two teams did play. UAB won at USF in overtime, like 109 to 106, and USF just suffered a really bad home loss to Wichita State, which they should not have lost. They had no business losing. And UAB is home, and UAB desperately needs a win. So that's another one I'll look at. I'll let you know, Stern, if I'm going to lock either of those other two in. But my main lock is UNCW +1.5 for mid major.
I love it. I love it. No leans or anything in either of those games, by the way. The public and money all like USF. So playing the
Yeah.
UAB as a home
Yeah.
underdogs is really kind of where you want to live if you can. It's a profitable long-term strategy.
Just both those teams are scary teams. Like you don't know who's going to show up and stuff. Because when I ran through my model too, they said, "Hey, yeah, USF has beat the better teams than the common opponents, but UAB at the same time has beat them at their home." So it's one of those. Just if you want to watch college basketball, enjoy it, watch it. Don't risk, Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't. It's a too short of a spread too. +2.5 is for those kind of teams. So.
No, and you can.
But something else about UCW to watch, guys. William Mary. I'm not kidding when I say this. I think they play at the second fastest tempo in Silver. So they just run and gun. So they're a fun team to watch. But I think UNCW's size is going to overwhelm them. So
Fantastic. And all right, just recap your pick once more. We're gonna go to Prince of Picks, and then I'll
yep,
recap mine, and then Prince of Picks will close us off. And see you later, guys. That's where we're gonna end it today. So yeah, bring us back to your best bet.
yep. Since it's just a mid-major slate, I don't like bet too much unless there's good mid-majors. So UNCW +1.5. I'm definitely going to take, and it's going to be good. Just have to watch one game.
Fantastic. I'm personally on the 76ers +2.5. Prince of Picks is with me on that one, and the Oilers 60-minute money line at -105. Prince of Picks, give us your best bets and close us off.
Yeah, so again, for the Europa League here, we got Lyon taking on Young Boys. We're going to do a half unit bet split here each. We're going to take Lyon on the money line, and we're also going to take Lyon on a -1 handicap. We're going to play a half unit each on those. Another look at another game we're looking at here is a Roma and Stuttgart. I'm on the under 2.5 goals here for that one at +100. We are also going to be taking a look at Basel taking on Salzburg. I like a lot of goals in this one, so we're going to take both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. That was going to be at -145. And then, real quick, guys, I know we have some new listeners here today that weren't with us right at the beginning of the stream. So, just to recap, as a reminder here, if you guys could do us a really huge favor over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, just give us a quick 5-star rating. Give us a real short review. It doesn't have to be anything long. It can be something as simple as, great team, winning picks, something short and simple, but anything that you guys will do for us would help grow the channel a lot. It kind of helps with the algorithm and making this show more visible to other potential listeners. So I would really appreciate that. And again, if you are listening to us on the replay here over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we would appreciate if you would do the same thing. Give us a quick 5-star rating. Give us a quick short review. Would do a world of help for us. So as always, we really appreciate all the support you guys have given us. This show has been really taking off a lot farther and a lot stronger than we ever had imagined. So we're on the right track here, and it's all because of you guys. So thanks again for all you guys' devotion here and dedication to the show. We're going to try to do our best to give you guys winning picks every day. So with that being said, Stern, I'll hand it over to you. Anything else you got for us before we get out of here?
No, yesterday's episode had 39 downloads, which means, to be fair, 2 of those were me. But outside of those 2, we had 37 different people downloading the podcast and listening to it after it was published as a podcast, which does not include our Twitter stats.
Yep,
So
and not
that's
to
impressive.
mention, Stern. Keep in mind, we've had no promoting. Like we've had no promoting. We've had, there's been virtually no kind of advertisement for us whatsoever. So that's just a shout out to you guys, and you guys really just stepping up here and helping us out a lot. So again, we really appreciate that. Continue to do what you can to help us out, and we'll continue to do what we can. But that's awesome. And I think the sky's the limit for us. So
Let's get her done.
let's get her done. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, not at all. Thank you guys so much for listening, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys, take care, and we will see you soon. Thanks again.